They finally made it in the end. The idiots. Sandy and the Jinx. Beautiful morning, bit chilly. Well, my theory is that our hero, prisoner 635, came down this track to the road up here where there's a telephone box. We know for a fact that he was picked up at this telephone box. Our hero, prisoner 635, was one Mr. Frank Mitchell, friend and associate of Ronnie Cray, who organised the escape mission, organised the escape. We'll be going to the telephone box in a second, and for those of you that don't know, Mr. Frank Mitchell was otherwise known as the Mad Axeman, and when he escaped in 1966, it was the biggest manhunt at that time in British history. And we'll carry on with the story a bit later. So just like today, Frank had a couple of Cray twin associates waiting for him at this telephone box. One of them was in the telephone box, pretending to make a phone call. The other had his car parked here with the bonnet open, pretending to fix the car. Frank came through the gate that we just came through, ran up the road, got in the car, and that was his escape, which, as I think I mentioned yesterday, is pretty amazing when you think that he's come all the way across the moors in a pair of welly boots, heading towards Dartmoor prison. Now, he didn't know that he wasn't being tracked at that point. That camera is really getting on my tits. He didn't know that he was being tracked at that point. It wasn't being tracked at that point. It took between 5 and 7 hours for anybody to notice that he'd gone, and by which time he'd actually crossed the moor and was making his way to Merry London, where I may just tell you what happened to him then. Right. We're on the way to Fogging Tor now to have some breakfast, because I'm hungry and these two are idiots. Right.
Hungry idiot. Sorry, it says on there, scratched into the phone box.
Bye bye.
Phone fret. I'm going to get my camera out in time on the food.
What have you got there, Ant?
I had a bit of steak and blue cheese.
Steak and blue cheese.
Yeah, somebody close to me gave me this idea.
Did they?
Yeah.
I wonder who that could have been.
My little Cornish friend.
And there's the Wiltshire man with his cup of soup and his jelly babies. Oh, hello. I think that went in my coat.
Eat it later then.
Proper job.
At least I shared.
You did. You're not having any steak.
Well, fine, you eat the rindy bits off of the blue.
So Frank was picked up at the telephone box by a couple of the Cray twin associates, taken to London, where he was put in a flat and hidden away for a while. The idea was, the reason why he was put into the flat and hidden away was that he'd been given a life sentence. He'd never actually killed anybody, although he was known as the Mad Axeman. He'd never actually used an axe to kill anybody in anger, and he felt that it was unfair that he had a life sentence when murderers were being let out of prison ahead of him. So after 4 years he decided to do his runner with the help of the Krays. For those in America who don't know who the Krays are, they are probably the most famous gangsters the UK have ever produced. Working in the 50s and 60s, finally caught and jailed in the late 60s. Anyway, Frank was taken to this flat in London, and because he was so famous, he was being hunted and hounded, and the police were getting far too close to the Krays. So on the 24th of December, 12 days after he'd escaped, they bundled him into a van, telling him he was going off to the country to visit Ronnie Kray. As he got into the van, doors closed, and as the van started up, 2 men opened fire on him. They stuck 12 bullets into him to kill him. One thing I haven't told you is that Frank was an extremely large man. He was 6'3". He had a 34-inch waist and a 54-inch chest. And he actually, one of his party tricks was to lift up grand pianos or hold a man outstretched in each arm. He was very, very strong. Anyway, they stuck 12 bullets into him, wrapped him in chicken wire, took him to the coast, put him on a trawler, and threw his body into the North Sea. It's never been found. And that was the sad end to Frank. Very sad ending. Right. This pair of idiots are waiting on me now, look. Right, well, we're at the top of, well, not quite the top of King's Tor. The top of King's Tor is up there. Ant's gone up there because he likes to climb everything, being all of 15 years old in the head. Just wanted to give a shout out to a channel I really like, called Nibbymox. It's gentleman of a certain age over in the United States. If you like camping, you'll like his channel. If you like little dogs, I know some of you do, you like his channel. He goes nearly everywhere with Sam the Faithful, his little dog. And if you like canoes, his canoe is pure filth. It is absolute porn. It is canoe porn. He goes out onto the boundary waters and spends up to 2 weeks sometimes out there canoeing the lakes, paddling the lakes. So I'll leave a link in the description below. Nibbymox, he's on 984. It'd be nice to see him on 1,000 subscribers by well, the end of this week. Right, Uncle Sandy's on his way up, and as I say, the Jinx is already at the top. Catch you in a bit.
is a stone though, isn't it? That's a gorgeous stone.